Lord. What is going on?
We are about to get started. You don't have your first and last name on the screen, and we're just waiting for you to mute yourself so we can go ahead and make announcements. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the State Court of Clayton County. I'm Judge Tammy Long Hayward. This is the jail and arraignment calendar for May 20th of 2025. I'm going to call the calendar in a moment. When I do, please, if you are represented by counsel for the arraignment calendar, your attorney will speak on your behalf, but I do need to know that you are here, and I'll call the jail calendar separately.
What is it doing?
Ma'am, what's your name?
Latoya Buckley.
Okay. I keep muting you because I keep hearing you, and I don't need to hear you until I'm ready to talk to you. I'm going to change your name. I'm going to mute you. So don't unmute until you hear your name called, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. This is the 10 a.m. arraignment calendar. I'm going to call the calendar. The first case on the calendar is Latoya Denise Buckley. Ms. Buckley is present, and she's represented by Lister Holton Dennis. May I have an announcement?
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you. Ms. Buckley is represented by Lister Holton Dennis. I, however, have a conflict. I'll ask to hold the announcement for Mr. Lynch to speak with Ms. Buckley.
Okay, Ms. Buckley, in a moment, Mr. Lynch will speak with you. I'm going to keep you muted while we complete the calendar, okay? Cervantes Echevarria, Armand Cervantes Echevarria.
Your Honor, Mr. Echevarria is present in the courtroom. We'd ask to hold for a conference before that announcement.
Does he need the assistance of an interpreter?
Interpreter, yes. Yes, Your Honor, he does.
All right. So if we could request Miss Bermudez or Miss Tolles, thank you, or whoever's working. Samuel Cho. Samuel Cho.
State's going to request a bench warrant, Your Honor.
Okay, last call for Samuel Cho. I do not see Mr. Cho on the screen, and there's no announcement from the courtroom. Samuel Cho, bench warrant will be granted. Next is Tyler Hall, Lister Holton Dennis. Tyler Hall.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hall is present.
Asked to have a conference with Mr. Hall, and if you could his telephone number into the Zoom chat, we would.
All right, so Mr. Hall, do you know how to use the chat function?
Yes, ma'am, I see it.
Okay, so go ahead and chat, but don't send it to everybody. Click on the name in blue. You'll see a pull down menu, and you'll choose courtroom 304. Send them your phone number, and then they'll be able to text or call you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Taylor Dion Jenkins. Taylor Dion Jenkins.
Your Honor, she's present in the courtroom.
All right. Ms. Jenkins, come on up. All right. Good morning, Ms. Jenkins. Ms. Jenkins, you're before the court for driving on a suspended or revoked license, no license, and speeding 26 to 30 miles an hour over the limit. Did you wish to have an attorney represent you, or did you wish to represent yourself?
Is there a public defender?
We have indigent defense counsel in the courtroom. I'll assign them to speak with you, and then you all can make an announcement at the appropriate time.
Thank you.
All right, have a seat. Garisha Sheree Stevens. Garisha Sheree Stevens.
State's going to request a bench warrant bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
All right, last call. This looks like it came from upstairs. I'm not sure why traffic offenses would have been up there, but last call for Garisha Sheree Stevens. Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. It says the notices did come back. Adrian Williams. Adrian Williams. Last call. I'm sorry, go ahead.
State's going to request a bench warrant bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
All right, last call for Adrian Williams. Bench warrant will be granted.
Judge, they're already warranted.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that concludes the call of the arraignment calendar, Mr. Lynch. My understanding is Mr. Taylor's conflicted for Buckley and that you all need a conference. You're waiting for the interpreter for Cervantes Echevarria. Cho is a bench warrant. Conference for Hall, who's present by video. Jenkins has been appointed and she's present in the courtroom. And then Stevens and Williams are both bench warrants.
Judge, I pretty much agree with that. But in reference to Ms. Buckley, that is going to be a plea today. And I just chatted to Mr. Tipton one minor request. And if he can give me an answer on that, we're going to be ready to go forward with what's on the table or.
Okay, I'm ready whenever y'all are.
Yes, Your Honor. Give me one moment. That's fine, Mr. Lynch.
Okay. Judge, we are ready to go forward with negotiating.
All right, Ms. Buckley, you can unmute at this time. Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on State of Georgia versus Latoya Buckley, 2021 CR 08568 for driving under the influence, count 1, and driving under the influence less safe, count 2. Mr. Lynch, what did your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, she pleads guilty to count 1. I believe count 2 would merge.
All right. By entering a plea of guilty to count 1, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, Ms. Buckley?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On July 16th of 2021, officers of the Clayton County Police Department were called to the parking lot of Church's Chicken. They made contact with a complainant who stated that the offender before you, Ms. Buckley, was in the line and had to be awakened once. In the line at the drive-thru, that is, Your Honor. Miss Buckley had fallen asleep more than once while waiting. She had slurred eyes, which were glossy and bloodshot. She did admit to drinking. After an investigation, the officers did read her Georgia implied consent and retrieved a blood sample yielding results of 0.241. This is a second in life, first in 10 DUI, Your Honor. State's recommendation is 12 months to serve 24 hours, balance probated, 40 hours of community service, substance abuse evaluation, any recommended treatment, no drugs or alcohol, subject to random testing, a DUI risk reduction course, and a $500 fine. Count 2 will merge into count 1.
All right, Mr. Lynch?
Yes, Judge. That was the plea that we discussed. I believe that Ms. Buckley has not had any additional issues with this since 2021. And so I would just ask that the court accept the plea as negotiated.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I just noticed that on my file it says she spent 2 days and 8 hours in jail. I'd like to give her credit for the full 3 days she spent in jail. So the state would like to amend its recommendation to 12 months, serve 3 days, credit for time served, balance probated.
All right. Well, that's fine with me. Ms. Buckley, so this is your second lifetime DUI, and that blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit. Have you gotten some treatment, some counseling since then?
No, ma'am, I haven't.
The reason I say that is because most people go their whole lives and not have one DUI. Most people, if they have one DUI, it's enough of a wake up to where they don't want to do it again. But to have 2 lifetime and then to have the blood alcohol level be almost 3 times the legal limit, that's a lot. That's a lot. So
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
I just say that for the sake of not just you, but for other people, we've had some this is what I always remember when I'm talking about DUI cases. We have had some pretty horrific DUI cases in this county. Off the top of my head, I recall 2 where whole families have been killed, where a woman, the woman who was pregnant with a child and the fiance or father of the child, like 3 people killed in 2 separate incidences. And so when I say that, when I talk to people who've had DUIs, I know for you, it feels like, well, that's not going to happen again. I have it under control. But for everybody else who's out on the street, we don't know when that control might slip.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I say to you, everybody thinks they can manage an issue, but usually what happens when somebody gets that out of control, it is usually the result of a trauma event or a grief event. Usually from what I have experienced being on this bench for a while, it is usually a trauma event or a grief event. And when people aren't dealing with those things that naturally happen in life, all of us are going to suffer those things. Then you put not just yourself in danger, but you put other people in danger.
Yes, ma'am.
And as much as I care about you, I care about all those nameless, faceless people out there who are on the road, could be me, who don't deserve to have their lives destroyed by somebody who's dealing with something and they're not dealing with it properly.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'll accept your plea of guilty. I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 3 days, credit for time served. Balance will be probated for you to take a substance abuse evaluation and any treatment that they may order you to take. 40 hours of community service. You're to have no alcohol or illicit drugs during the course of your probation. You will be subject to random screens for alcohol or illicit drugs. You're to take a risk reduction course and pay a fine in the amount of $500, which is going to be closer to $1,000 with the surcharges.
Yes, ma'am.
Because of the enhanced surcharges due to a DUI.
Okay.
And then count 2 will merge. Mr. Lynch, anything on behalf of Ms. Buckley before I put her in a breakout room with our probation expert?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So Ms. Buckley, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with the probation expert, Ms. James, and she's going to explain everything that you may need to know for probation. If you have any questions that are specific to your situation, particularly like transportation, work, any of those things that she may be able to answer for you, go ahead and ask those questions when you have, while you're speaking to her. You do not have to come back to the courtroom once you finish speaking with her. Just make sure that you do what is necessary for you to successfully complete probation. And I say this to everybody, not everybody listens, but the quickest way to get rearrested is to fail to complete your probation reports. You have to report to probation as long as you're on probation. But we have some incredible probation officers who do their level best to try and make sure that they help you to successfully complete. So if you have any issues where you don't think you're going to be able to finish something or you're having some difficulty, please call them or see them and report this to them so that they can assist you with any alternatives that may be available, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you have any questions before we open the breakout room?
No, ma'am.
All right. All right, thank you. I think she's, Ms. Buckley, you get the, looks like she's stuck, so she may be already trying to get into the breakout room. There we go. All right, so Buckley is complete. Any other announcements before we go to the jail calendar?
No, Your Honor.
I'm from the state, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll go ahead and call the jail calendar, and you all can continue to work on each of the two calendars. All right, next. All right, first case on the jail calendar is Robert Barnes. Robert Barnes.
Your Honor, if I could, one moment. So Mr. Barnes was brought back down.
Okay, is he not going to be able to come back up?
That's a question for the deputy.
Your Honor, I was notified that he would not be able to come up at this time.
All right, thank you. All right, so we'll continue Barnes for 1 week. All right, and Benton, DeAndre Lamique Benton, petition ×2.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've been speaking with Ms. Chang about Mr. Benton. He's not present in the courtroom currently. I have had contact with him, and he did tell me that he had an emergency or very quickly scheduled medical procedure that was being performed today, and he would send me documentation of that procedure once it was completed and he had received the information from his doctor showing they had been released. I'm just
When was it scheduled?
I don't have the exact date, Your Honor. I asked Mr. Benton when it was supposedly scheduled very quickly, and the doctor scheduled with him over the phone, so he didn't have any documentation to present to me that I could present to the court. However, by today, I should have documentation at least that showed that he did have that procedure. It actually took place.
Bench warrant until I get the procedure. I mean, the information.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Carroll, Henry Lee Carroll, petition.
Your Honor, I'd like to have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Carroll.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't, not Mr. Carroll. That's a different gentleman. One moment, please.
Henry Lee Carroll III.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is that a walk-in? He's not present in the courtroom, and he's not represented by Lister Holton.
That is a jail case, Mr.
He's
Taylor.
active inmate.
If he were, we don't have him up? Mr. Carroll hasn't been brought up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Carroll, yes, Henry Carroll,
He has been brought up?
yeah, Henry Carroll.
Your Honor, we'll just speak with him and see if he wants representation, and then we'll go forward from there.
All right. Escorcia, and Ana Escorcia.
Ms. Scorsia needs a Spanish interpreter.
All right. So she should be coming in for the other case as soon as she's available. Keith Gatewood.
Your Honor, Mr. Lynch is conferencing with him currently.
Oh, excuse me. All right. Next is Talik Bernard Grant.
Judge, I believe that's going to be a negotiated plea. I just need a
Excuse me.
few more minutes to finish up with Mr. Grant, but he's indicated we're going to resolve that case today.
All right, next is Tammy Jackson.
Your Honor, we haven't spoken with Ms. Jackson yet. We're waiting for the accusation and recommendation. Ms. Arnold said she was sending that to me shortly. We didn't see it yesterday.
Next is Antoine Darius James. That's Ms. Stokes Martin's case.
I think you had a conflict, Judge. Let me confirm, but I think that she's in Henry County.
Okay, because she had a conflict the last time too.
Okay, let me check to be sure.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Val. Next is Jason Omari Simons. Jason Omari Simons or Simmons.
Yes, Your Honor, we are still waiting for the accusation and recommendation, and we'll speak with Mr. Simons. Again, I should have that shortly, so we'll ask for a conference.
All right, Philip Euron Whitaker. Philip Euron Whitaker, that's a petition.
Yes, Your Honor, I will be speaking with Mr. Whitaker and presenting the probation officer's recommendation on the sentence, and then we'll have an announcement once I've spoken to him.
All right, so we've gone through the jail calendar. Barnes is a continuance. Benton is a bench warrant. Carroll is a petition. Escorcia, I'm sorry, needs an interpreter. Gatewood is a conference. Grant is a plea. Jackson conference. James conference. Simons conference, and Whitaker petition conference.
Yes, Your Honor. That's
All
fine.
right, I'm waiting for announcements.
Thank you.
And Your Honor,
Thank you. Y'all let me know. Well, first, when the interpreter gets here, try and put those cases to the forefront so we can make sure she can get back to another courtroom if necessary.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'll be back.
thank you.
I guess I gotta go then. Go ahead and start. Your Honor, I do have an announcement off the jail calendar as far as a plea that we're ready to go forward on, if Your Honor is ready to do that. Yeah, I'm good. Shouldn't be too bad. Got it. Why is
All right, who's ready?
yeah, of course. Oh, I'm not sure. Judge, I'm sorry. We are ready to go forward on a plea with Mr. Gatewood. And then the interpreter's here so that I can speak to the interpreter client next.
All right, Keith Gatewood.
Stand right next to me.
All right, raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Mr. Gatewood, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Keith Gatewood, 2025 CR 04740, battery family violence count 1, battery count 2, simple battery family violence count 3, simple battery count 4. Mr. Lynch, what is your client plea tenses before the court?
Judge, he does enter a guilty plea to count 1. I believe the remaining charges merge.
By entering a plea of guilty, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
All right. Factual basis recommendation, please. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
One moment, Your Honor. I just need to get the file. Not sure, Mr. Tipton is. One moment.
Sorry, Judge, I didn't mean to ambush anybody.
No, I thought we announced it a couple of times.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm ready, and I do apologize about that.
All right. Factual basis.
Yes, Your Honor. On April the 22nd, 2025, officers responded to 2125 Mount Zion Parkway in Clayton County, Georgia. Officers learned during the course of their investigation that the defendant struck the victim, Raven Navarro, Raven Navarro, Navarro, with a 1x4 wooden board in the back of the right arm, causing visible bruising. Your Honor, those are the facts of the case. It's my understanding the recommendation is 12 months to serve, 23 days. Credit for time served, balance probated, to enroll and complete a family violence intervention program, and to pay a $300 fine. Count 2, 3, and 4 will merge. That is my understanding of the negotiations.
Mr. Lynch.
Judge, that is correct. That is the recommendation we discussed. I have discussed it with Mr. Gatewood. He does wish to accept it, and we are asking the court to accept the rec and sentence accordingly.
Mr. Gatewood, who is Raven Navarro?
She's my fiance.
First of all, folk throw this word fiance around like candy, but most of the time when I hear it, there's no thought process of wedding anywhere in the future or in the past. Second of all, why are you hitting your fiance with a board?
Long story to cut it short, she came home and we kind of just got into a little altercation, like a little dispute, and she hit me, and then that's when I hit her back. So I apologize about that.
All right, if y'all really do intend to, get married, y'all need to have some counseling.
Yes, ma'am.
It is not acceptable for either of y'all to be hitting each other. That's not what marriage is about. So not sure, how you intend to conduct an actual marriage if y'all actually do get married. Because like I said, everybody's a fiance. I don't see so many weddings. I just see a lot of fiancés. But if you intend to get married, I would suggest that y'all get some counseling. Do you all have any children together?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Because marriage is not supposed to be one of those things where it's strife. In that should be the safe, peaceful place. Like when you come in from the world where everything is crazy, when you walk through your doors in your home, that should be where your peace is. And if y'all hitting each other with boards and all of that, there's no peace there.
Yeah.
And why would you want to stay in some place that, I mean, you can stay in trouble without being married or without having a relationship. So if you find that this is not the person that, everybody's like, but why do you stay? Because I love them. Is that what love means to you?
No, ma'am. It does not.
All right. Well, think about that before y'all tie the knot.
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
make sure y'all think about whether this is a relationship that really should continue.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, so I'm going to accept your plea of guilty to count 1, 12 months to serve 23 days, credit for time served. Balance will be probated for you to take the Family Violence Intervention Program and pay a fine in the amount of $300, which the surcharges is going to be $444. Now, the Family Violence Intervention Program is a 24-week course. And from what I understand, there is a lot there about effective communication in a relationship, and how not to end up in an orange jumpsuit as a part of your relationship. Please take it seriously. Please make sure that you go to all the classes. If you miss, I think more than 3, or if you mess up, they will make you start over again, and you don't have time for that. Do you understand?
No, I do.
All right, so I'm going to accept your plea. Counts 2, 3, and 4 will merge with count 1, and probation will get you signed up. All right, the quickest way to get rearrested, Mr. Gatewood, is to fail to report for probation. So please make sure whatever you do, you are reporting for probation, and there's to be no violent or harassing contact with Raven Navarro as a result of this plea as part of your sentence. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody ready now? Anybody else?
Judge, we're also ready on Grant.
Okay.
You bring out Grant.
We also need to refer. And then, this course here, and the female and the.
It's up there.
All right. Talik Renard Grant,
Yeah, ma'am.
raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Oh, they got to take these off?
No, that's fine right there, sir. You swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hands down, sir. 2025 CR 047242. Simple battery on a police officer, obstruction of an officer, no insurance, and stop or yield sign violation. Mr. Lynch, what is your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, she pleads guilty to counts 1 and 2, and we ask, pleads no to counts 3 and 4.
All right. By entering a plea of guilty to counts 1 and 2, no to counts 3 and 4, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf. to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Actual basis and recommendation, please.
Hey, that was not your time. Oh, my fault.
Mr. Tipton, you're muted.
My apologies, Your Honor. Your Honor, on April 28th of 2025, officers with the Clayton County Police Department conducted a traffic stop at Tiger Way and Traditions Lane in Riverdale here in Clayton County. There they made contact with the defendant, Mr. Talik Grant. It was determined that he was observed failing to come to a complete stop at a stop sign. It was determined he was driving without valid insurance. During the stop, police officers attempted to have a wrecker come and collect his car, at which point he became irate and tried to hinder the wrecker from taking his vehicle. While attempting to hinder the wrecker and hinder the police officers, he ended up elbowing Officer Khatib, Khatib, who was between him and the car, in the side of her head. The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is for count one, simple battery on a police officer, to be 12 months, served 17 days, balance probated, 100 hours of community service. Count two, obstruction of officer, to be a $300 fine. Count three, no insurance, to be a suspended fine of $200. And count four, stop sign violation, to be a suspended fine of $100.
All right, Mr. Lynch.
Yes, Your Honor, I have discussed this with my client and discussed the requirements of probation. And at this time, we are asking the court to accept the recommendation.
All right. So, Mr. Grant, this is advice I give a lot of people. You cannot win a traffic argument on the side of the road with the police. You can't win. That is not set up that way. Take the ticket. Listen to what they said. If they say gonna tow your car because you don't have insurance and you can't prove that you have insurance, then you'll have to get the car out of tow. But I promise you, that is not a discussion or an argument that you can win on the side of the road. You are better off taking the ticket, and signing the ticket does not mean that you agreed to the ticket. It just means you're accepting the ticket. Take the ticket and then come to court if you have an argument about anything. And I'm saying this to anybody who might be listening. You cannot win on the side of the road. Court is different, but you cannot win on the side of the road. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to accept your plea of guilty to count one, guilty to count two, NOLO to count three, NOLO to count four. Counts 2, 3, and 4 will run concurrent with count one. On count one, I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 17 days. Credit for time served. Balance will be probated for you to do 100 hours of community service. Count two is a $300 fine. Count three is a $200 fine suspended. Count four is a $100 fine suspended. All right, Mr. Grant, you can go back with the sheriff's office, but please make sure when you are driving that your license is correct and your insurance is intact, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, anybody else, or y'all need the conference?
Judge, I believe we need a few conferences at this time.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
Mr. Taylor may have an announcement.
Oh, Miss Martin, Attorney Martin is on.
Good morning, Judge. I apologize for the delay.
That's okay. My understanding was you were in somebody else's courtroom. So this is for Antoine Darius James.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What do you need from the court?
I need to speak with Mr. Tipton and then.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Tipton, I'll put you and Ms. Martin Stokes into a breakout room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, I've been done.
All right, so breakout room number 3 for Mr. Tipton and Ms. Martin Stokes. All right, and I'll be back.
If you want to do that, I'll talk to Mr. Paul. Get something on.
You just put her right there.
And me the two that I talked to, which was Grant, but it is in the email. Sorry. I'm gonna call Mr. Hall. She's been waiting on me. And hopefully when y'all are done, I can get something.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Tipton?
when Ms. Martin first comes back, I have an announcement on Mr. James.
Okay.
I thought she was right behind me, but I guess she might still be in the breakout room.
Hi, Ms. Bermudez. Let's see.
Adrian Williams came on late after you called his name.
I'm sorry, Mr. Williams.
Yes,
Ooh, that's on the
arraignment.
all right. Just waiting for Ms. Stokes. Yeah, she's coming up. All right, Ms. Martin Stokes, you and Mr. Tipton have an announcement.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. So the state's reviewed Mr. James's case. It looks like this case is actually, it somehow got separated from a series of other felony charges. As I was reviewing it, it looked like this case was dated 4/29/2025 at 20:29 p.m. And his felonies occurred allegedly at the exact same time the following day with the same victim. I believe that they are from the same case and that it just got separated by mistake. And based on the nature of those crimes, the state's going to submit a motion to transfer so that it can be handled with the other charges upstairs.
All right.
I'm sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
I don't necessarily know if that is the case. I think they accused the case with an accusation date of April 29th of this year. And of course, the report is saying that this happened 8/14 of 24. I think the charges that he is upstairs on has a date of 3. I just think it's a whole bunch of confusion, and I don't know if a transfer is going to warrant resolution of these issues.
My
Okay, do you think it is a separate occurrence, or do you think that it's just like maybe a duplicate?
To me, it looks like he was in custody. That's why I was having a hard time with this in the beginning.
Oh,
I don't know what this is, but the report is naming the incident date of 8/15 of 24. I think it's got to be dismissed for several different reasons. But I don't know if it's related to the other thing, the 3/24/22 incident date. I don't know, Tiff.
So here's what we do. If y'all can't work this out, then if Mr. Tipton submits the motion for transfer, then you go ahead and respond what you have regarding whether he was in custody, whether it's a valid charge, or whether this charge is its own misdemeanor separate from the felonies. And then the court will make a decision at that point.
Okay.
Because I think that y'all may need to do a little bit more research, and you may need to contact somebody in the magistrate court clerk's office, possibly, if there's some, if there's information there, or at the jail that would help. Because I don't want anybody double charged, but if it's an incident that's the same as something else, he deserves to have it all adjudicated at the same time.
I agree with that.
absolutely, Your Honor.
All right, so y'all go ahead and keep talking about it. We'll go ahead and continue, Mr. James, for a week. During this week, if you all come to some conclusion, let me know. If you all submit motion and response to the motion, then I'll review that. So I'm open to this being resolved in whatever is the best way.
It'll be 2 weeks, Judge. The 3rd of June is the
2 weeks, okay.
And Your Honor, I'm going to reach out to the DA's office and see if I can get a copy of the police report for their case. And if it's a different police report, we'll go from there.
All right, sounds like a plan. You good with that, Ms. Stokes Martin Stokes? Okay. All right, and just let me know if there's something that needs to happen in the interim, then, y'all can always email me whatever is the issue. But I would rather y'all be on the same page, because I don't want the gentleman when we have charges that get separated, he may have something that gets resolved down here and then he's still hanging out upstairs, or the reverse. So.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for appearing. I know you were in another court, Ms. Martin Stokes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge, for being patient with me.
You know me. I ran the roads going from courthouse to courthouse. I try to be patient with attorneys.
I appreciate that. Have a good day.
You too.
All right.
All right. So I know Ms. Bermudez is here, and I know she has at least 2 clients that y'all need help with. So go ahead and prioritize those, and let's make sure that she can get to whoever needs her next. And I'll be back when you all have announcements. All right, Mr. Williams, where's Mr. Williams?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Williams, you're before the court for speeding 11 to 15 miles per hour over the limit and no insurance. Did you wish to have an attorney represent you, or did you wish to represent yourself and speak with the state and see what y'all could work out?
I could speak for myself and work with the state.
Okay, so what I'm gonna ask you to do is I'm gonna set up a breakout room. Miss Ponder, is this you or Mr. Tipton?
It's my case, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll put you and Mr. Williams in a breakout room. Let's see. All right, I'll put you in breakout room number 2. All right, and when you all have an announcement, let me know. All right, Mr. Lynch, Ms. Ponders are gonna be in the breakout room on one of the cases. Mr. Tipton is available and Ms. Bermudez is in the courtroom. So is there anything you need from me? You're muted.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I do have a negotiated plea for Mr. Hall on the OTB arraignment calendar.
Yes.
Um,
All right, Mr. Hall. And that's Mr. Tipton's case, is that correct?
yes, I think so.
All right,
Yes,
Mr. Hall, may I see you, please, so we can go ahead and get your case taken care of?
Yes, ma'am.
No problem. All right, so Mr. Hall, ooh,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. The light started flickering and I'm going, ooh.
My bad. I had to clean off the screen. It was kind of blurry.
I got you. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. So you're represented by Lister Holton Dennis. Mr. Lynch is your attorney. Mr. Lynch, this is case 2022 CR 01459. What does Mr. Tyler Hall plead to the offense of improper lane change?
Nolo contender.
All right, by entering a plea of nolo, sir, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis, recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, on October 31st of 2021, officers with the Clayton County Police Department, while on general patrol, did observe the defendant before you, Mr. Tyler Hall, failed to make a lane change in a manner that was reasonably safe and reasonably safe as practicable while traveling down Riverdale Road near Garden Walk Boulevard. The state's recommendation is a $100 fine.
All right. Mr. Lynch, anything on behalf of Mr. Hall?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Hall is in between jobs right now, and he's requesting if he could have 60 days to get that fine paid in full.
No problem. So, Mr. Hall, I'm going to accept your plea of nolo. I'll sentence you to pay a fine in the amount of $100, $151.50 with the surcharges. And, sir, I'll give you 60 days in which to pay. This is what I ask you. Do you know how to use the chat function?
On here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So go to the chat function. Whatever name is in blue, click on that. And then you're looking for Amanda Wright, R-Y-T-E. Wait, is that who my clerk is today?
No, it's Sierra Willis today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was looking. I knew it. I knew I didn't see the little colors from this. Okay, you're looking for Sierra Willis, S-I-E-R-R-A Willis. You're going to send her your email address. Please make sure you check it to make sure all the letters and numbers are in the right place. And when you send that to Ms. Willis, she's going to send you back your sentencing sheet. It's going to have the exact date by which you should pay. It's going to have information about how to pay online or by phone. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hall, go ahead and make sure you get that paid by the deadline. Otherwise, be safe, sir.
Yes, ma'am. You as well.
All right, and I wish you well on the job hunt. What you looking for?
I was working manufacturing, but I'm really looking for someone like warehouse or anything that's really opportune.
There's a here in Jonesboro, off of right at Main Street and Noah's Ark. There's a cement manufacturing company, and they always have signs out for people.
Yeah, like I don't even stay in the Clayton County district. My mother
Okay.
stays out there. I just went out there to go.
So you were just here
during Halloween.
By accident.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I just know that I pass there sometimes and I see signs, but I wish you well on your job hunt, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. And you'll get
Oh,
check your email either tomorrow, probably tomorrow's a good time to check your email, and you'll get your sentencing sheet.
yes, ma'am.
All right, take care. All right, did we have any other announcements at this time? Ms. Ponder, Mr. Williams?
Yes, Your Honor. It's my understanding that Mr. Williams would like to accept the state's offer. Your Honor, the state, he is pleading to count one speeding, a $100 fine. The state is moving to dismiss count two, no insurance. And I will also send over over his email address, and I believe to Ms. Hall, is that correct?
To Ms. Willis,
Ms. Willis.
Sierra Willis.
Oh, yes,
And
I see it. Thank you.
is he entering a plea of nolo or guilty?
Your Honor, it appears that the speed, is
Oh, it's not
79.
reportable. Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Williams, just so you know, there's you're below the speed at which it will be reported for points.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
if you want to use a guilty plea and save your NOLO for another time, you can do that.
Okay.
All right, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down, sir. Are you over the age of 21?
Yes.
And you're representing yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're before the court on 2022 CR 01469 for speeding 11 to 15 over and no insurance. You're entering a plea of guilty to count one. Count two will be no pros. By entering this plea, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony or evidence on your behalf to not incriminate yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, I do understand, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On April the 10th, 2022, officers conducted a traffic stop on 285 and Riverdale Road, located here in Clayton County, Georgia. Officers detected a vehicle traveling on a LiDAR, traveling 88 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. However, officers issued a citation for 79 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. The state's recommendation, as indicated for count one, is a $100 fine. Count two, the state is moving to no pros.
All right. So, Mr. Williams, do you wish, because you're not at the courthouse, I'll give you an automatic 30 days. Did you need more than that to pay?
That'd be perfect. That'd be just enough time. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So what's going to happen is Ms. Ponder's going to send over your email address. You'll get an email from the clerk of state court, and it will be instructions about how to pay. You can always pay in person at 9151 Terra Boulevard. You can pay online or by phone. Okay.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right. So thank you, sir. Take care and be safe.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I sent over Mr. Williams' email address to Ms. Willis.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Williams,
Your
you're free to go at this time.
Ms. Ponder, just to confirm, that's ymail.com.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Your Honor, I do have an announcement from Mr. Cervantes Chavaria off the OT, or the out to bond arraignment calendar.
Your Honor, we're ready to proceed with Mrs. Garcia. She's been in since April 23rd, according to her. This happens. So the warrant. I didn't have a chance to talk to her about how they came together. But apparently. She threatened to harm herself. So that's good. But think of it. This was a criminal. Probably. Which is only works considering this place. Nobody's old enough to remember this, but Otis, the town drunk, would come in on Friday night after getting drunk, lock himself into the jail, and would let himself out the next morning. It's like public drink. Yeah. Like New York City at the drunk thing. It's like the people in, they stick it off, they're like, and then they just go like this. Yeah, okay. But it's small. It's like that's almost like this. They treat those things like the small town treats it. When I was in my 20s and it looks like 15, but 22. Yes. She did it. Yeah. Nobody uses discretion. They look at this and go, I know this isn't serious. This has the potential to be serious for me too. Everybody's just like, there's a set of rules and they just go through these rules. I think that's
I believe she said that she was waiting on announcements.
Your Honor, in the matter of Miss Anna Escorcia, we're ready to proceed on the jail calendar. She needs to be. No, continuing. I explained it to her, it's no contest. But,
Judge, we do have several announcements when the court is ready.
I'm ready.
Yes, Judge. I have negotiated pleas for, and I'm gonna forget how to pronounce the name.
Cervantes Echevarria.
Yes. Additionally, Ms. Jenkins. And then we have, I believe,
Your Honor, Ms. Escoria on the jail calendar, who also needs an interpreter, is present as well. So if we could go with Mr. Both of the two folks that need interpreters now, that would be helpful.
Okay. Cervantes Echevarria.
I guess.
Sir, you're before the court on 2022 CR 01461.
Ante la Corte debido al caso 2022 CR 01461.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court for failure to yield the right of way. Mr. Lynch, what is your client plea?
Nolo.
Nolo.
By entering a plea of nolo, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. If you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact or your immigration status. Right. And you give up the right to present evidence and testimony and to not incriminate yourself. Factual basis of recommendation, please. Interpreter speed.
Yes, Your Honor. On July 23rd of 2021, officers with the Clayton County Police Department responded to a single vehicle accident at North McDonough Street and Highway 138. There they made contact with the defendant before you, Mr. Armando Javier Cervantes Escavera. Let's see. Excuse me, Cervantes Chivarria. It was determined that the defendant did fail to yield while turning left, and in attempting to compensate, did flip his vehicle. The state's recommendation is a $100 fine, Your Honor.
Mr. Cervantes Echevarria, I'm going to accept your plea of nolo. I'll send you to pay a fine in the amount of $100. And it'll be a total of $151.50 with the surcharge. Did you wish to pay that today or did you need additional time?
I'll pay it today.
Also, sir, you have a bond that looks like a cash bond.
Parece que te la pago en efectivo.
Once you leave this building, you can go over to the sheriff's office to get refund of your bond.
Para que les reembolsen el dinero de la cuenta. Okay.
And you can pay on the second floor of this building at the traffic court division.
Piso de este edificio en la oficina de tránsito.
When you come back through the double doors on the second floor, go to your left.
Y en el segundo piso, pase por la puerta doble y vaya a la izquierda.
And they'll take your payment there.
Y van a quitar su pago.
All right. Thank you, sir. Be safe.
Thank you.
All right, and next is Escorcia.
Yes, Your Honor. Judge, the judge, if this goes well, you can see her up there. Speak loud enough so the microphone can hear you.
Hable lo suficientemente alto para que el micrófono le pueda escuchar.
Ms. Escorcia, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give will be true?
Sí, lo juro. Yes, I do swear.
All right, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Anna K. Escorcia. You can put your hand down, ma'am. 2025 CR 04743 for public drunk. What does your client plead to the offense before the court?
My client pleads nolo contendere, no contest.
By entering a plea of nolo, Ms. Escorcia, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to present evidence and testimony on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. You give up the right to be presumed innocent. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
¿Entiende usted todo esto? Yes. Sí. Yes.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, on September 25th of 2025, officers with the Clayton County Police Department were dispatched to 3779 Grant Road, Ellenwood, Georgia, and that's lot 115, in reference to a suicide attempt. There they made contact with Mrs. Scorcia and could smell the strong odor of alcohol coming from her person. Her speech was slurred and difficult to understand. She was extremely intoxicated and advised that her heart felt like it was racing and that she wanted to kill herself. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is 12 months, served 21 days, credit for time served, balance suspended.
All right, anything on behalf of Mrs. Scorcia? Mr. Taylor?
Your Honor, I believe Ms. Escorcia has been in custody since April 23rd. That's my understanding. And we ask that you accept the recommended sentence.
Mrs. Scorsia, I'm gonna accept your plea of nolo. I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 21 days. Credit for time served. Balance will be suspended as long as you have no new violations of the laws of the state of Georgia. Mrs. Scorsia, I'm worried about you. This is the kind of situation where it tells me that you have some pain going on. Okay. I would suggest therapy. If you can't afford that, you can speak with somebody. There are a lot of counselors through churches. If you have a church that you attend, you may be able to speak with someone at the church. A lot of times we're dealing with traumatic experiences or grief. Whatever the situation is, I hope that you will be able to find some peace. Okay?
Yes, I do need it.
All right. You're a young person and you're shaking your head no. What I say is, it doesn't always look like things are gonna get better, but I have hope that in your situation it will. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, but like I said, try and find somebody that you can talk to, that you can trust with whatever it is that's burning in your heart, okay?
Your sister, maybe.
We don't have like a relationship.
Okay, well, like I said, if you go to a church, even if you don't go to that church and you tell them that you'd like to talk to somebody, then you may be able to find some, and even if you don't go to church, you may be able to find somebody who will sit down and kind of talk through it with you, okay? All right, because I know sometimes money can be a problem when we're seeking counseling. Sometimes money might be an issue. So I'm trying to think of low cost or free ways that you might get some help, okay? But I wish you well, Mrs. Scorsia. All right, take care of yourself, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right, who's next?
Judge, we're ready to proceed on Ms. Jenkins from the OTB
Right.
calendar.
That works. All right, Ms. Jenkins, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on Taylor Dion Jenkins, 2022 CR 01462 for driving on a suspended or revoked license, no license, and speeding 26 to 30 miles per hour over the limit. Mr. Lynch, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, she's gonna plead no contest to count 3 speeding. I believe the other charges will be null pros pursuant to the agreement.
All right. By entering a plea of nolo to count 3 speeding, you give up the right to have a trial, a jury, or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, on January 20th of 2022, officers with the Clayton County Police Department were in the area of Highway 85 northbound and Airport South Parkway when they observed a vehicle being driven by the defendant before you, Miss Taylor Dion Jenkins, traveling at 73 miles per hour in a zone where the posted speed limit was 45 miles per hour.
All right.
The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is 1 day in jail, credit for time served, and a $200 fine. Nothing further from the state.
All right. Mr. Lynch?
Yes, Judge, I would ask the court, accept that recommendation. I believe, you said you can pay that within 30 days, right?
Yes.
If she could just get 30 days to pay, just to make absolutely certain.
Okay. All right, Ms. Jenkins, driving is a privilege, ma'am. First of all your documents need to be in good order. Your license needs to be correct. Your insurance needs to be intact. You need to have all of those things before you ever turn a car on, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and 75 and a 45, ma'am. All right, so I'm going to accept your plea of to counts 1 and 2. I'll sentence you to pay a fine in the amount of $200, within 30 days on count 3 and 1 day credit for time served, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
And I don't know if this would have, but it was 73. Just making
Oh,
sure.
okay. Hold on just a second for me.
I don't know if that's part of the record, Judge, but it was 73, not 75.
Still too fast.
I understand that part, Judge. Just don't want any love letters from the Department of Driver Services.
Yeah, good point. All right, I'll be right back.
Thank you, Judge. All right, you're good.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Taylor, y'all ready on anything else on the jail calendar? We could,
Mr. Carroll's probation matter, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Carroll's probation matter.
Okay,
Real quick, Your Honor, James?
Yes.
Is it trying to show up?
yes.
Okay.
He can go back. James can go back.
Okay, I'll let him know.
Yeah, thank you. Tell him we talked to his attorney and he can go back.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Judge,
Yes.
just so I'm clear, on count 2, that was a $200 fine.
Count 2 for
Jenkins,
Jenkins, it was count 3, 12 months, 1 day, credit for time served, balance to pay a $200 fine within 30 days.
okay. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And counts 1 and 2 will be no cross.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, who's ready? We still have, you said Carol, so, for petition.
Mr. Carroll's coming out, and we also have Mr. Simmons. I believe Mr. Lynch is speaking to him currently, and Mr. Whitaker is another probation matter. He'll be coming on next, second. And this is Mr. Carroll, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Henry Lee Carroll III, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down, sir. You're before the court on a petition for revocation of probation. And that's case 2024 CR 10471. You were before this court for theft by shoplifting on the 7th day of January 2025, sentenced to 12 months on probation. You have 7 months and 16 days remaining. It says that you have a new offense of criminal trespass on May 7th of 2025. You failed to document proof of enrolling in a theft prevention class, and you are $50 in arrears. Mr. Taylor, what's going on with Mr. Carroll?
Your Honor, we will stipulate to the arrest only for the criminal trespass. It did occur. However, we will be contesting that matter. Mr. Carroll, I believe there's a $50 outstanding. It's and the anti-theft, we do admit that the anti-theft class has not been completed. That's where we are currently. When the last star is one time missing a probation appointment was on the date that he was arrested for criminal trespass, is my understanding. And that was some peculiar circumstances.
All right, Ms. Chang, recommendation?
Your Honor, probation recommends that 60 days be revoked, credit for time served since May 7th, and close the case.
14 days.
Mr. Taylor?
Your Honor, we agree and ask that you accept the recommendation from the probation officer.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes, ma'am.
Why do we keep doing stuff? Just think about it. I don't want to answer, but I want you to start thinking. These 60 days that you spend in jail, start thinking about things that you could do differently where you don't end up in an orange jumpsuit. We're clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I could have left you in jail from this past thing and you could have done the time and been on your way, and it probably would have prevented you being arrested for another offense. But start thinking about the decisions you're making and whether you're making good choices.
Yes, ma'am.
Think about that, because this back and forth in jail thing, that's not a good thing.
It's not.
Your Honor, is Mr. Carroll on next week's jail calendar? Do we know?
I do not know.
Okay. So one of us will talk to you before then. Depending on if we wait the preliminary hearing, we may be on next week's possible from our office. Did you wait the preliminary? Hopefully that'll get us back here quickly so we can get anything right. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So Mr. Carroll, I'm going to revoke 60 days. After the service of 60 days in the Clayton County Jail, then your case will be dismissed.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Remember what I said, sir. You don't have to keep coming back here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Who's next? All right, so the remaining cases are Jackson, Simmons, and Whitaker. Whitaker's a petition.
Mr. Whitaker's coming up next, Your Honor. That's also a violation of probation matter.
Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes, Ms.
That's all I
Chang,
have.
thank you. You
Thank
got,
you, Your Honor.
did you get it?
Yes, ma'am, I received the
Okay.
petition. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Chang.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Whitaker, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Philip. You're Ron Whitaker. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true? All right, you can put your hand out. You're on before the court on 2020 CR 08186. You were before this court for disorderly conduct on the 18th day of October 2022, sentenced to 12 months on probation. You have 5 months and 17 days remaining. The sentence was tolled because you failed to report on February 7th, February 17th, March 27th, March 28th, April 6th, April 11th, and April 13th, all of 2023. You last reported on February 22nd of 2023. You failed to pay your currently $726 in arrears, $50 in attorney's fees, $326 in restitution, and $350 in supervision fees. Your total obligation is $872. Mr. Taylor, what's going on with Mr. Whitaker?
Your Honor, we stipulate to the violations as outlined in the petition. And the probation officer has a recommendation, probation officer Austin.
All right, Officer Austin, what's the recommendation?
Good morning, Your Honor. The recommendation is to revoke the balance and may be released if payment of $326 in restitution is paid to probation.
All right, sounds good. All right, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, Your Honor, that's our understanding. I've spoken with my client and we ask that you accept that recommendation. I will be contacting his family to see if we could get that restitution paid as quickly as possible. Mr. Austin, who does that payment need to be made to?
They can either bring cash or they can do a money order and it'll be made out to the Office of Probation Services, and then we'll submit the payment to the victim in the case.
Office of Probation Services?
Yes.
326. I will contact the family and let them know that. Thank you.
Hold on, let me make sure I got everything.
Hold on, let me change.
That's not something if you wish to speak and address the court yourself, you're welcome
to. Your Honor.
Yes.
Correction, the amount of the restitution is $472.
If you have something to say to the court, I don't have any information. I will call your sister and tell her the restitution and ask her to pay it, but otherwise. Okay.
All right, so this is what I have. So just so the jail is cleared, Defendant shall have the balance of the probation revoked 5 months and 17 days. Defendant may be released upon service of the entire time or upon payment of $472 in restitution to the Office of Probation Services. Defendant shall be released upon whichever comes first, payment or service of the entire time of the entire balance of probation.
Correct, Your
Alright.
Honor. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Whitaker, next time, just do what the court advises you to do. At the very minimum, show up for your probation reports. I mean, you can only run for so long, sir.
Running, I'm actually Philip Yaron Whitaker. I own 12% of Boeing and a share of the Mecklenburg Airport.
Oh, okay.
I don't, and I'm never in Georgia. I didn't plan on being in Georgia.
All right.
This has been redone. I put up $3,500 bond on the original case. All the money should have went towards the fines. Instead, y'all said y'all took some for the instead of going towards fines, you took money for the bonds, and the money was appropriated the way y'all wanted to. Instead of paying my fines, I would have cleared all of this out now.
Okay, well, work that out with the jail because they handle the bonds. All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, next.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, Mr. Austin.
All right. All right.
What?
We ready? All right, who's this?
Mr. Simmons?
Mr. Simmons, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Simmons, you're before the court on 2025 CR 04994 Jason Omari Simmons for loitering or prowling and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. I'm sorry, you can put your hand down, sir. Thank you. Mr. Lynch, what is your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, he pleads guilty to count 1 and 2.
All right. By internal plea of guilty to counts 1 and 2, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And sir, if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, who is this?
Simmons.
Jason Omari Simmons.
Okay. Your Honor, on February 3rd, 2025, officers responded to 7465 Davidson Parkway located here in Clayton County, Georgia. Officers learned during the course of their investigation that the defendant, while officers responding to the scene of domestic with physical abuse, officers observed the defendant walking in the area. When officers proceeded to try to investigate and see if he was accused with the outstanding suspect, he proceeded to run away, jumping fences and pulling out a firearm while pointing at his head while fleeing on foot. Those are the facts of the case, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is 12 months to serve, 30 days, credit for time served, balance suspended, and for the obstruction, the state's recommendations of $300 fine suspended.
All right, Mr. Lynch.
Judge, we just ask that you accept the recommendation from the state.
Okay, did I hear something about a gun?
Yes, Your Honor, that's my understanding.
Okay, where's the gun?
It doesn't state in the police report.
I'm sorry, Miss Ponder. Read it.
I'm just trying to see in the police report whether or not they retrieved the gun. But I do not see
Read
in
the factual basis for me again. I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm gonna go to. Your Honor, on February the 3rd, 2025, officers conducted an arrest at 7465 Davison Parkway, Stockbridge, located here in Clayton County, Georgia. Officers were responding to a domestic with physical abuse call at 7465 Davison Parkway, where a suspect had left the scene on foot. Officers attempted to make contact with the named defendant, Mr. Simmons, who was walking in the proximity of the incident location. When officers proceeded to try to investigate and see if he was the actual accused was the outstanding suspect, he proceeded to run away, jumping fences and pulling out a firearm while pointing it at his head while fleeing on foot. And then additionally, officers stated in the report, he indicated that he was going to shoot himself in the head.
All right, did they ever
It
find or identify a gun?
They stated that it was an airsoft BB gun, but the defendant stated it was an airsoft BB gun, but they could not retrieve the gun. It stated the defendant could not tell, well, the suspect could not tell me where he left the gun in his jacket, so they never retrieved the gun.
Okay, and what's his connection to this location?
It's my understanding that he was leaving the area, matching the description from the domestic. That was.
I get that, but is this where he lived, or does he have some connection with those people?
It doesn't state, Your Honor. It doesn't go into detail.
So I'm going to accept the plea of guilty to counts 1 and 2. On count 1, 12 months, 30 days, credit for time served, balance suspended. Count 2 will run concurrent, a $300 fine suspended. All right, as long as you have no new violations of the laws of the state of Georgia, Mr. Simmons.
No, ma'am.
All right, you can go back with the sheriff. Last case that we have is Jackson.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you.
You said this is the last case, Judge?
Yes.
Okay, I'm logging off. Just if you need me, call me.
I'm good. Thank you. All right. This is Miss Tammy Jackson. Miss Jackson, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right. You can put your hand down. So, Miss Jackson, you're before the court on 2025 CR 04993 for disorderly conduct and simple battery on a police officer. Mr. Lynch, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, she pleads guilty to count 2. My understanding is count 1 will be null pros. The
All right.
recommendation I had was plead to count 2.
All right, by entering a plea of guilty to count 2, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. You understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis and recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. On April 18th of 2025, deputies with the Clayton County Sheriff's Department were transporting Miss Tammy Jackson to Southern Regional Medical Center. Upon arrival, she began to complain that her restraints were too tight. They informed her they would not loosen her restraints due to department policies, at which point she began spitting on sheriff's deputies. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 90 days, balance suspended, credited back to the incident date of April 13th, 2025. I believe that she's still incarcerated on a felony charge presently.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Lynch?
Nothing at this time, Judge. I know that she, I did some research and she does have a court date on that offense. The state mentioned on the 27th or 23rd of June.
Okay.
But at this time, we just asked the court to accept the recommendation. I know she's been here for quite some time.
I got you. All right, so I'm going to accept your plea to count 2. Count 1 will be no cost. I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 90 days. Credit since the date of lockup. Balance will be suspended as long as you have no new violations of the laws of the state of Georgia. All right, you can go back with the sheriff, Ms. Jackson. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the arraignment calendar and the jail calendar. Anything else before we go? I'm signing.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I know mostly you get appointment order emails from Mr. Taylor, but I did send you one the other day with some, I think going back to the 9th maybe of May.
Okay, I'm going down the list. I still have some stuff I hadn't signed.
Okay, I was just trying to make sure.
All righty.
And Your Honor, I'll be submitting several over this week and next week. I'll be submitting several null process on some very old cases. So just FYI, it'll be quite voluminous. I'll CC Mr. Lynch and Mr. Taylor in those emails.
Sounds like a plan. Thank y'all.
Thank you.